There's clearly a long history of artists who have gone to nature for inspiration. We're just using a different kind of paint. There's this idea that the purpose of technology is to make everything available instantly, everywhere, for free. We are more interested in how technology can limit your experience. To hear this music, I mean, you literally have to be there. The artists Christo and Jean-Claude did this temporary installation called The Gates in Central Park. And that was kind of a big deal for us because it really felt like it was in dialogue with a physical space. We wanted to know if it was possible to create that same kind of experience with music. But it really wasn't until the introduction of mobile devices, of apps, that really became possible. When we first released this app, we called it the first location-aware album. Location-aware music is this concept of geotagging music to a physical space.
Music is emanating from different locations, but it's overlapping with other ones. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure in that you can go to all different directions and they all work.
We're using mobile devices' built-in GPS functionality to sonically map the contours of a physical landscape, in this case, the National Mall.
I guess the process of geomapping sound starts by walking around and seeing how people move, creating paths and hotspots.
Writing music for it, making sure that sounded good on its own, and then coming down here and walking around, seeing exactly when things were triggered and making sure that it worked. So it was a weird process and one that we were kind of making up as we went along. I love the idea of someone turning on this app and putting it in their pocket and never looking at the screen again. It's not about the user interface, it's about augmenting your relationship with this physical space. So instead of seeing this monument to George Washington, it's this alien obelisk that punctuates the center of the park.
After a while, you go to sort of the corners of the mall that I would normally not go to. One day, I probably walked to like 5 miles, just trying to get to like every corner to see what that experience is going to be.
We could send someone an MP3 version of this album, but where it becomes magical is when you're walking by this carousel and you hear the sound of horses. You know, the future for this project was for Hayes and I to come out here to California and to sonically map the entirety of Highway 1. Pacific Coast Highway is the highway that runs the entirety of the Pacific Coast. There's a big difference here, which is that the user, the listener, doesn't have the same level of autonomy. It is a linear path. It allows us to almost craft it more like we would a film score. We know how people are going to move, and we know the speed generally at which they're going to be driving. I do think it would be great if the first time you saw the ocean, something sonically would change. We wanted to place the finish line for this so far beyond what we could even think to do within 6 months or a year. When we started it, we didn't exactly know how this would end, and we kind of still don't. Sound art, in a lot of ways, is a relatively nascent form of art. It's still being understood and still being explored. When you think of the technologies that are available to people now, I mean, it's pretty incredible. There's so many other things that can be done. The permanence of projects that are new media is kind of uncertain, but we hope that what we're creating, pulling inspiration from this beautiful place, is something that can last.